minutes ago, and the game will go ahead. Life begins for Saints without Sean Long after finishing up without a trophy for the first time since 2003. What does the new season hold in store for these players? Wellens at full-back, three-quarter line, Gardner, Gidley, Soliola and Wheeler, Price and the new king of Knowsley Road, Kyle Eastman. Up front, Fozzard has returned to the club. He's up front alongside Cunningham, the skipper, and Graham. Kieran Cunningham in his last year, he says, as a player. Flannery, Wilkins second row, Pulatua at loose forward. And on the bench, it's Roby, Moore, Clough and Farsavalu. The coach is Mick Potter. This new-look Hull side has Tansey at full-back, then it's Hall, Whiting, Yeeman and the exciting youngster Tom Briscoe, Horn, and the man of the moment, Sean Long, the skipper. Up front, O'Mealy, Berrigan, Radford, Manu, Tickle and Fitzgibbon. Formidable, aren't they? With Dowes, Luaki, Cusack and Houghton on the bench. And the coach is Richard Agar. Well, the Black and Whites, they finished 12th in the table last year. They have been blighted by injury for a second year in a row. Yet they boast the most loyal supporters in the game. They had the third best average attendance figure last year, and everybody will hope for better in 2010. Sean Long is the second highest point scorer in St Helens history. He's a Lance Todd winner 3 times. That's a record, and he starred in 4 grand final wins for this club. The captain is Kieran Cunningham. Paul Wellens, after his testimonial year last year. Many of the faces haven't changed, but there are 1 or 2 newcomers. Soliola in the centres. Eastman, of course, will start most of the games this time at scrum half. Fozzard's returned to the fray, and Scott Moore has come back after his loan spell. First of all at Castleford, and then at Huddersfield last year. And the players are somewhere out there in the murk and the fog. Well, before the match, the St Helens club were saddened recently by the loss of George Parsons, who died at the age of 83. George was a blockbusting Welsh forward who starred in the Saints trophy-hungry side of the 50s. He earned Challenge Cup, League Championship and Lancashire Cup medals. He was a Hall of Fame member at Knowsley Road here, and he remained a very popular figure at the Past Players Association functions. He was selected for Great Britain and Wales. They were the other highlights of George's distinguished 13-a-side career. He hung up his boots after spells with Rochdale Hornets and Salford way back in 1958, and he later became involved with the Pilkington Rex Amateur Club here in the town of St Helens. And the supporters here at Knowsley Road now will remember him with a minute's silence. Well, the minute silence, as ever, impeccably observed through the murk. That's Ben Thaler, who is tonight's match referee. I don't envy the supporters at either end of the ground tonight. I don't think they'll be able to see a thing unless the play is coming towards them. We'll do our best to bring you the action here. As I say, the fog is coming in and going out, up and down, and they say that about 15 miles away in Liverpool it's crystal clear, and certainly not too far away in Warrington it's exactly the same. Anyway, the game is underway. Wellens, I think that is, who's underneath the kickoff. Here is Fozzard, First run back in the colours of St Helens, and a great chase from the kick-off by the Hull forwards.
It's important that both sides realise, OK, it's not the best conditions, it's pretty cold out there as well, and it's up to each side to say, we really want this. And Hull's defence is pretty smart, but that's a beautiful pass. Wilkins away.
And here is Eastman. It was the pass from Graham that opened up the Hull defence. They got back quickly, though, and pulled him down. It was an excellent tackle in the end from Richard Whiting. And that ball eventually finds its way over the head almost of A.D. Gardner and out. Chance is gone.
Certainly was. You can see the tip on there from Matt Gidley. But I'm afraid A.D. Gardner just wasn't tall enough to pull it in. But what about the break there? The little offload from the prop forward, James Graham, was nothing short of superb. Hull's defence in and around the ruck area was caught out, and Wilking raced through. To their credit, the black and whites got back in numbers.
It's a very still night. We need a bit of wind, Steve-O. Start puffing and blowing, will you? Try and get rid of this fog for us. It's a penalty to Hull. I think it was ball steal, I think, 2-on-1. They will restart here, Hull, just over halfway. Mark O'Mealy on the charge. And O'Mealy said when he was announced as a Hull FC player he couldn't wait to get over here and bash a few Poms. Well, I remember Mark Carroll saying that when he came over for London Broncos, and he went home with his tail well and truly between his legs. We'll see how Mark O'Mealy does, I hope, tonight.
Well, you're right there, Eddie. Mark Carroll, in fact, I think he was knocked out in the first 3 games on every occasion. That's how tough he was. They soon sorted him out.
Well, this is Mark O'Mealy now. Having said that, Mark Carroll went back and played State of Origin football in Australia. That's Long's little kick through, and Wellens read the script there right on his own goal line.
Neat work, though, wasn't it? Long wanted to make some sort of impact very, very quickly indeed and apply the pressure. But as so often has happened here at St Helens, Paul Wellens in a great position.
Another great pass from James Graham, nearly opened up the whole defence again. One thing that has just struck me, Phil, the coaches watching over on the far side, they probably can't see much. Neither can we, neither can they. What do they do about the game plan when they want to change it tonight? How on earth do they cope with all that?
I think they just try their best, don't they? And that's what the players will be doing out there. I think it's an impressive start by St Helens. I think the more you see forwards passing the ball in rugby league, the more dangerous that team becomes. And James Graham's a perfect example of that. He links so well with John Wilkin. And I think the St Helens will try to develop more of the forwards doing that. And look at the defensive effort. Wow, that wins possession back. Now, there is a rule that says in rugby league you're not allowed to lift and drag a player around the field. But I think if it happens in the act of the tackle and the initial contact is good, you're allowed to drive him back now. I think it's your opinion here now. Have they lifted him off the floor? Hard to see exactly where the line is.
It's probably worth crediting that kick from Kyle Eastman as well. That's what you want from your half-back. Putting a kick, an accurate kick like that, gives you a chance to get a good chase in place and get a great result like this.
Goal line dropout reaches Wellens. Here goes Fossard again. Halted by Mark O'Mealy.
Well, the return of Nick Fossard is a no-nonsense player. He'll just card it up just like this fella will, James Graham. But we've already seen the influence from the second rower, John Wilkin. He's operating right in the middle of the park.
Wellens, that ball hits the deck. It was a one-on-one tackle. It was ball and all. There's a Hull player flat out.
He's appealing to the referee, and they've done the right thing. He is completely... Oh, he's moved now. I think it's
Kirk Yeaman, it is.
Outstanding defence from Yeaman. I mean, he's hurt himself there, but, geez, that's a big play. He shot out of the line and he stopped Wellens dead. Otherwise, I think it was on here. If Paul Wellens had managed to get that ball into the hands of Matt Gidley, it could have been a try for St Helens. That's great defence from Kirk Yeaman.
He just couldn't get the head round the side of the body. So he took it full force. And for a few seconds, he is out. There you can see it just couldn't get it to the side. Made an impact on Wellens as well, but I think you'd have to say Yeaman has come off second best.
Okay, wait there, guys.
Well, they're not holding back, that's for sure. He'll be looking for a big season, Kirk Yeaman.
Here come the black and whites. That was Berrigan. He turns it back to Mark O'Mealy again. Second tackle. Fossard was in there very quickly indeed. That was Lee Radford's pass. It looked as though it was a touch forward, but you can excuse the official for missing that tonight. Long with the kick downfield, not the best, but it did bounce right in front of Wellens.
Well, the whole fans thought there was a bit of a knock on there. Now they can see it. It's beyond belief.
Well, it was only about 10 metres away from the Steve-O in the front row, so maybe they had a point.
And the other point that you've got to take into account, surely both coaches will be saying, look, when it gets to the last one, put it up. As soon as you get the high bomb up there, nobody will be see it.
I couldn't catch it on a clear day. I don't know how they're going to do it tonight. This is ridiculous. It's that hard, these conditions.
Fossard has hold of the ball. I'm just hearing the news, by the way, about the ruling about abandoned matches. If it is abandoned at any stage tonight, it goes to the operations committee, even if this is in the 79th minute, and the operations committee will then decide whether the result stands. So that is the chapter and verse from Stuart Cummings. And even if the match is abandoned at the 79th minute tonight, you would imagine that the result would stand then. But if it abandoned at any other stage during the course of the game, it's up to the committee as to whether the result as it stands then will stand in the records. There you go.
I think they've got to take into account if one side's 24 points in front, they've obviously got to give them
Which
the
they
points.
will,
Yeah,
obviously,
of course they will.
but they won't announce tonight what happens, whether it stands or not. But let's hope we get through 80 minutes. It's again starting to lift slightly. We can now see over on the far side from here, from the commentary position. This is Radford. Here is Long, and Long with another kick over the top and behind Paul Wellens, and it runs dead.
And again, that surprised me. The experience from this fella, Sean Long, that they did not attempt this high kick, because they're pretty low at the lights here. And if you get it very high, it's just going to be impossible. It's going to be a nightmare. It'll come at you with like a split second before you see it.
You will. The coverage tonight on Sky Sports, we're trying to find the best camera angles to bring you the action a little bit clearer in your living rooms. Anything that can see the play, our director is cutting to tonight to make sure that we can see the ball, see the play, just like we can now. Here is Wellens. He skips through one, skips through two almost, but Berrigan is the man who pulls him down. This is Cunningham. Cunningham finds Eastman, and Eastman will take them on. He gets away from one, he gets away from two, and Eastman is on his way over the sideline. That's good play.
No, it's penalty.
There's that new penalty.
That's the new rule.
Well, he wasn't dragged then. He was not dragged then. He was pushed and forced. Ben Taylor didn't give a penalty last week for almost the same thing.
That's Sean Long dragging. That's what they're calling that Sean Long. We had the referees in during the week. I know it's touch and go, but they're calling that Sean Long dragging, and that's the interpretation they said they're going to go with this year.
You're right, Brian. If he'd have just peeled away, it'd have been okay. He didn't.
Here's another penalty for St Helens, I think. Bradford, I think I heard the referee saying you came in late. They're not going to take the chance of 2 points. They want 4. That's Fossard.
I bet the touch judges are happy with that.
Here's Cunningham. Now it's with Eastman again, I think. That's Pulatua. Well, I can't honestly see what's happening over there.
Well, that's Cunningham. I've just made him out.
This is Eastman. This is Price. Price for Gardner. Great defence. Great defence. Let me say, by the way, 8.5 minutes. This is the Rugby Football League officials who will make the decision about whether this game continues tonight. They made the decision independently whether the game would kick off, and they now will make the decision as the game progresses on the conditions that you are seeing here this evening. But it is, to say the least, difficult.
It wasn't for the fullback, Jordan Tansey. That was superb defence from the fullback. Eddie Garden having no chance into the corner.
Eddie, this is what makes the league so interesting. If we turned up to every game and the conditions were exactly the same, it would become rather boring. Players need to adapt to different pitch conditions, different weather, and we're seeing that here tonight, aren't we? You may have to alter your style of play at very short notice to what you've prepared all week because of the conditions that the British climate throws at you. And I think here now we're starting to see that here now. Both sides started with moving the ball around quite a bit. I think it's a rather more conservative effort here now in the last few minutes.
I think there's no doubt about it. The players, well, they were honed, weren't they? They are athletes. They would have wanted to play this match. And at ground level, they can probably see each other without too much difficulty.
It's the kicking's going to be a problem, kick reception as well.
There it is, that's a deep kick. Wellens went for it, thought about it, and then let it bounce. Will run it back.
I'll tell you what's an interesting ruling there. Because Fitzgibbon was in front of the kicker, Ben Thaler said he couldn't get involved in making that tackle. That's a slightly new interpretation in the sport as well, to allow the wingers and fullback of the receiving ball more time to run it back, Eddie. Great idea.
Here's Graham.
Well, it's been all St Helens so far. They've had position and possession, but full credit to Hull. They've kept them out with some last-ditch attempts.
Wilkin goes down on tackle number 4. Cunningham waits the dummy half, goes into centre field and finds Eastman. Eastman got the ball away to Leon Price, I think. This is almost impossible. Eastman again. High kick, looking for Gady Gardner. Well, you're going to see plenty of that tonight because the ball comes out of the fog and it just drops.
Well, it was let's toss a coin, see where it comes out, and Gardner tried his damnedest to knock it back.
Looking to try and flick it back to Gidley, wasn't he?
Yep, but they are the tactics. Now, can we see this visiting Hull side? Can they get the forwards working? It's very difficult against the St Helens side, especially at home, that when you go the opposition in there, 6 play the balls, they don't get halfway to the halfway line.
Tackle of the season so far from James Graham on Lee Radford.
He felt it too.
What a bell ringer. Look at this, if you can. Hey. This is Willie Manu, gets the ball away to Briscoe. Briscoe is grabbed by Gardner. The ball spills and goes backwards to Tansey. Here is Craig Fitzgibbon. Last tackle here for St Helens. Gardner is in a bit of trouble with the ribs. Berrigan to Long. Long will spin it wide. That was Richard Horne. And it disappears over there into the mist. It's with Craig Hall.
6 to go.
6 to go, is it? Must be, because it was the last tackle.
6 to go. He's wiped the tackle down.
Well, good job that Ben Thaler saw what happened, because we didn't. Here is Berrigan.
No, 80 Gardner.
Here now is Manu. 80 Gardner flat out. Hull attacking down this left-hand side.
They're down at 12. Is in no man's land is Gardner.
Long ball inside. Desperate defence. Hull supporters behind those posts thought that they had that down.
Oh, great work from Wellens. He only has to get behind the white line. That's what he did.
This is the last tackle. Dead. This set of 6.
Kick through from Richard Horne. This could be close. Richard Horne has put the kick through.
First knock on, he's called. No try. I think that's the turnover.
Well, Saints are down to 12 men as well at the moment. They've got Adi Gardner off the field. Here's the first knock on from Hull. Jordan Tansey it was before he was grounded in goal by Gary Wheeler. Gardner leaves the far side of the field with the club doctor.
Yes, Gardner's in all sorts of strife. Bill.
Eddie, the Saints bench struggling to see where Adi Gardner was when he was initially injured, and they were peering into the gloom. They're on this side of the field. I have to say, you cannot see what's happening on that other side of the pitch down on ground level, and Gardner was over there, and they were literally squinting into the gloom to see where he was.
That's a pretty good kick deep onto that left-hand corner.
You've got good eyes to see that.
And the chase was very, very good.
Look, it's a very rugged whole pack, and I think if St Helens can contain or do more than that with this whole pack, they've just got too much in the backs for this young Hull. This is a very young Hull back line, and I think there's too much experience in the St Helens side. Whether or not the Hull forwards can contain the likes of James Graham is yet to be seen. He's had a wonderful opening 15 minutes. He's mixed up his defence and his attack with short balls and just charging up himself, he's probably going to be the best, one of the best throwers, I'd say, in the world at the moment.
Berrigan, the dummy half, and back it goes to Long. That's out in the fall from Sean Long. That's not the best kick that Sean Long's ever put in on this ground.
Well, he put it into the wing that James Roby's actually playing on. There's a versatility of a modern-day player. Hooker one season, on the right wing the next, and Sean Long knows that at the moment, the new guy in the number 7, Kyle Eastman's, are making a better job of kicking the ball than him.
This is Cunningham. He gives it to Fozzard, I think, isn't it? And that was Eastman, and he brings the ball back on the inside. That was a tackle that came in there from Fitzgibbon. This is Leon Price. Gets it away to Flannery. Flannery finds Gidley. St Helens building the pressure on the whole line. Flannery, Graham, looking full of it tonight, James Graham.
He certainly is. That's about the 4th or 5th time he's seeing first receiver. And Flannery has lost it.
Penalty offside. Offside against Hull.
They came out of the blocks very, very quickly indeed, and it was Sean Long that was just in front of the official. But the impressive way that Mick Potter, the Saints coach, is utilising the prop forward James Graham. We've seen it a few times over the couple of seasons, but he's taken control out there as a big fella.
This is Gidley, and it's a big test again of this whole defence. Roby, and he fires the pass to Eastman. Eastman to Graham again. That's 2 tackles weathered by the whole defence. Saints 10 metres away. Cunningham gets the ball away to Eastman once more. And Eastman with Richard Horne on his back.
Tried to duck underneath it there, but they were very quick. Richard Horne keeping an eagle eye out for him.
Going this way, and it's with Roby, but he picked that up when he was almost kneeling down. He did well to get away from Briscoe, who recovered and made the tackle. Wellens, the dummy half, over the head of Eastman.
Poor pass.
In these conditions, you can excuse anything, I think. Last tackle.
Well, Mick Potter, the Saints coach, obviously feels that Adi Gardner can come back on because they're sticking with the substitute James Roby out on the right wing.
Well claimed that was by Jordan Tansey. It's a penalty against John Wilkin, I think. He was all over the top of Tansey, tried to pinch the ball as well after the tackle was completed.
Well, it was a good kick and chase. They had the numbers there, and then just lack of concentration. Just tried to have a second go at him. Tansey very quick to have a few words to the touch judge on this near side.
This is Long. Hull trying to get the ball outside of their own half on this set of 6. That's Richard Horne who disappears under that challenge.
And that just proves that St Helens are bossing the game so far in the kick and chase department. They've been very effective, but full credit to the black and whites. Their defence has held firm.
They're up to halfway on tackle number 4, the black and whites. Long with a better kick to the corner, but it will run and skip its way dead. Well, he knows every blade of grass at Knowsley Road, obviously. But a very difficult night for all concerned to get their sights set.
I don't know whether they're trying to get at Sean Long. It quite possibly is what they're trying to do, but almost every shift that they've put on has been down at this whole left edge. I mean, look at the tackle count so far. We've got the whole winger, and whole centre made 10 tackles between them, which at this stage of the game is an awful lot. They're hitting the middle and then coming back to their right edge, the left-hand side of whole defence, almost every time.
St Helens on halfway after 3 tackles. And that was charged down, the kick from Eastman. It was by Berrigan, I think.
That'll be back to 6.
Yes, the referees wiped the tackle count down. Here is Flannery.
It was good work there by Kyle Eastman, even though it ricocheted away. He was so alert, swooped onto the ball.
Fozzard again for St Helens. Back, of course. after Hull Kingston Rovers last year, just the one season there. 19 minutes gone. 0-0.
Well, it appears to be getting worse, Eddie, doesn't it, rather than better.
Well, I can't, honestly, I mean, if I'm honest, 5:30 tonight, it was better than this. And they delayed the kick-off till 6 o'clock. And to be fair, the players are doing their best to give us something to enjoy.
Well, it's probably worth pointing out, it's not as bad for the players as it is for the viewers on the side and the viewers at home and sort of here in the commentary box. I think that probably in rugby league you're never more than 20 metres from the ball, and there's at least a 20-metre visibility at present.
There's a big argument there. Who's the game put on for? You'd have to think it's put on for these paying spectators or the TV viewers, you know, and if they can't see it, there's a strong argument to say, what's the point in playing the game? This is very, very difficult. I mean, when the camera shot goes out, we can't see anything.
Well, David Campbell, the official, made it quite clear that it was what they can see in the stands behind, what the spectators can see behind the post,
but I think
not what the players can see.
Isn't it now a decision for Ben Thaler? It is now his decision. He's out there, and as Phil says, he probably thinks it's okay because he's at ground level as well. He can see and he can see that the players are coping with it.
Well, I think it'd be David Campbell that get into his ear and say,
well, he might do,
and just say,
but it's the referee's decision in its entirety now, I'm told.
Yeah,
it's up to Ben Thaler whether this game sees the 80 minutes or not. Berrigan,
great run,
scrambling little run.
Well,
that's Jordan Tansey. Here's Sean Long.
That was good work there by the hooker Berrigan. He could see that Mori Fasabaloo was pretty slow to get into that marker position.
Berrigan again. He got the ball away from dummy half. That's where they are on the last tackle from behind the goals, as you can see. And Wellens does well to claim the ball.
It was a neat little kick there by the fullback Jordan Tansey. But time and time again, we keep mentioning it, Paul Wellens, his positional play, and Hull have wasted all that effort.
Interesting, Cunningham leaves the field, Scott Moore comes on.
This will be good. He had a great season last year, Scott Moore. I'm excited to see him in the St. Helens lineup. Good, smart person out of dummy half. Good player out of dummy half, Steve-O.
I think you're right. I think Mick Potter, the coach, realises he needs a little bit more spark running from the dummy half position. Because they've caught Hull out a couple of times, not getting themselves sorted at the play the ball area. Big hit again.
That was Moore, that was Wilkin, this is Flannery!
That's great skill. Brilliant interplay, two back rows, working in tandem, at pace, difficult to stop.
Little run from Scott Moore again.
Move, Chris, great, quicker.
Leon Price is the dummy half this time. Gives it to Wilkin. And Wilkin is tackled on the last.
We fully expected it, Eddie, that Wilkin would take charge down the middle. That's what he's doing. The interpassing with his prop forward, James Graham's been superb so far.
And it was one of those reverse kicks that Eastman put in. He probably went a metre a bit too far, if you were being critical, because it was caught in goal. Hence the 20-metre restart there by Tansey. Placed himself well, and Hull wanted to play with it quickly. Tickles, sidestepping up to halfway. And two tackles, they've got downfield pretty quickly.
And that was Fitzgibbon, and he turned the ball inside.
Well, this is the first time that Hull really can apply the pressure and make sure the kick and chase is good. Camp down in the St. Helens red zone, which is something they haven't done often in this first half.
Long again. Brought down on the last.
It's a kick through.
It's a goal line dropout, I think.
I think Gary Wheeler dealt with it very well. You know, there are a few players in Super League who are younger than the shirt number on the back. Gary Wheeler's one of them, and he's one who really impressed me. I think he scored 8 tries in his 11 games last year, and he positions himself well here to prevent one. Greg Hall right on his back.
Well, that is the pressure that we were talking about in regards to the black and whites becoming serious. St. Helens are taking their time and to get the dropout from underneath. It's not a bad one from Wellens.
More news on whether the game will see itself to the 80th minute. The referee will decide about the visibility on the field. The match commissioner and the ground safety officer will make a decision and pass it on to Ben Thaler about the visibility as far as the spectators are concerned. So this saga gains pace, doesn't it?
Well, the crowds sound as though they're enjoying it, Eddie. I don't know if they can see it.
Nice little combination there between Sean Long and Sean Berrigan, winning St Helens a penalty. Sorry, Hull a penalty, beg your pardon.
Yeah, I'm sure that we'll be slipping up all the way through the season after so many years. Of course, the talisman, Sean Long. Berrigan quite happy to just do the tap.
Yes, interesting that St Helens have had kickable penalties, or penalties in kickable positions, and so too have Hull now. And they've decided on each occasion to tap and run it.
Oh, he's dropped it as Berrigan.
It doesn't matter, it's offside against St Helens, right on their own line. It's an interesting decision.
Well, to be fair, it was easy there for Ben Thaler because there were two St Helens players actually in front of the padding of the post, which is only about 3 meters away.
Another tap penalty, Fitzgibbon for Hull.
Hold the time.
Now then, the magic of Long, will we see it?
It was Berrigan with the short pass. It's St Helens muscling up in defence. The Hull fans can see clearly what's happening in front of them. Here is Long, he changes the direction of the attack, flicks the pass to Tansey.
I think that's back inside to Tickle, isn't it? He's operating on the right side as their back row out wide, that side.
Here's Long again.
Great
the ball
line.
away. It's a try for the Black and Whites. Long has given it to Manu, and Manu has scored.
Superb pass, Eddie. At the right time. We often speak about players running onto the football at pace. And Willie Manu has just done that. Nothing was going to stop him, and the magic that the Hull fans have been waiting for quite some time has finally come from Sean Long.
And Willie Manu, the 2009 Hull Player of the Year, has come up with the first try of 2010 for the Black and Whites, engineered by Long.
Was it ever? And what about the dummy run from the loose forward, Craig Fitzgibbon? It just confused the defence. See how two men went for Sean Long. Fitzgibbon took out another two, and Manu says, I'll take the try.
You're bang on. Credit Fitzgibbon there. He made it very difficult for Chris Flannery, and I guess in the end Chris Flannery will probably look at that and say he's come up with maybe the wrong decision, but credit to Fitzgibbon there for that. That's a great dummy run from him.
It's Danny Tickle with the kicking responsibility. Remember, Sean Long can kick a goal. Craig Fitzgibbon is an accomplished goal kicker as well. And Danny Tickle, he had the job for the past couple of years. He holds on to it, and what's more, he's given Hull a 6-point advantage here.
That was nothing short of superb. Look at this, watch Fitzgibbon. See how he sucks the two defenders. Nothing was going to stop the man, Manu.
Right, let's get down to Bill on the side.
Eddie, a big cheer from the Hull supporters when that passage of play eventually reached their end of the field, because that was the first they'd seen for some time. In fact, at one point before that, they were singing heartily, "What on earth is going on?" Well, it wasn't quite those words, but they were looking down the far end of the pitch and they couldn't see a thing. So when they got up that end, they were very happy.
What on earth is going on? Gentlemen, should we sing that as well? Because we can hardly see it from up here. But as many shots as we can, we're giving you at home.
Richard Ergo knows one thing, that he's potentially got a better attacking side here now, and that's one of the reasons I think why he brought Sean Long to the club. With Danny Tickle on the right-hand side and Willie Manu on the left, they've got two strike-back rowers who can cause damage, make a break and score a try. And Hull know if they want to make it to the playoffs this year, they have to be a better attacking team and score more tries.
Long with the kick over the top. And that is a better kick, a much better kick from Long, because Wellens has to run it out and the black and white wall has arrived. And he goes down under the challenge from Manu.
Tremendous work. 6 players, no less, was on that chase from Hull. Richard Agar has got him fired up for this.
couldn't wait for the game, Richard Agard said his players couldn't wait either. And the newcomers to the KC Stadium, they had been an absolute tonic during the course of the pre-season. Each and every one of them, he said, should take a pat on the back.
And I think one of the most important factors that perhaps a lot of people are forgetting is that, you know, for so long, Richard Horne has had the responsibility of trying to just create things time and time again. They've got the man like Sean Long. They can stand either side of the ball and create all sorts of confusion.
It's another penalty against St Helens here. Hull have had 6 now, and St Helens have had just the 3. High shot by Omari Farsivalou. It was.
Well, it seems to be clearing at one moment, and then the fog descends yet again.
Well, I'll tell you now, with Hull leading 6-0, they won't want this game abandoning and being sent to the committee. Well, unless, of course, they give it the rubber stamp and say you can have the 2 points. In the last few years, they've always been able to get themselves up for a good performance here, generally speaking. They've actually won here a few years ago and lost by that dramatic last-minute penalty kick, didn't they? Not that long ago either. Was that 2008? So they really have enjoyed some success here, and they're having some nails on this left-hand flank with Tom Briscoe. Yes, Briscoe in possession, but it was Eastman who got the tackle in. That's good work from Flannery to deny Kirk Yeeman. Long once again stabs the kick through, and Fitzgibbon is chasing this, but that was too long. It's a tap restart. The last win at St Helens, March 2007, 24-12. Rather, the last win against St Helens, March 2007, 24-12 at the KC Stadium. They haven't won here since the epic that Phil was just talking about, 27-26 victory, June 2006. Paul Cook's drop goal. It was St Helens' only home defeat of that year. More news on Eddie Gardner from Bill.
Eddie, we saw Eddie Gardner go... Well, no, I correct myself. We didn't see Eddie Gardner going off. It happened on the far side of the field. We couldn't see a thing. But Eddie Gardner emerged from the mist, clutching his ribs, and he has gone back to the dressing room. He went back to the dressing room for prolonged treatment. He's reappeared. It doesn't look as though he'll be continuing, though.
And this is the way that Gardner got the injury. Meanwhile, St Helens looking for something on the last tackle, and it's the turnover because, well, that's Chris Flannery, I think, and he knocked on. They went for the power play rather than opting for the kick in the in-goal area.
What Hull got to do is speed this game up. They look good when the game's going quick, and Sean Berrigan's able to get out from dummy half, and Sean Long's able to play with St Helens going on the back foot. So they've got to do everything they can, get their fast outside backs in, or get these big front rowers running in pairs, get a quick play of the ball for Berrigan and Long.
That's Fitzgibbon who takes the second tackle. 20 metres away from their own line. Berrigan passes the ball inside as the fog lifts slightly. Not as bad as it was a couple of minutes ago. I know you'll find that hard to believe at home, but it's true. Here's Berrigan. We can actually see a bit more, fellas, can't we?
Yeah, you're right there, and another good run from the hooker, Berrigan. He's certainly playing his part. That's another good kick from Sean Long.
It is. Roby is after this, and Roby has to run it back from his own in-goal area, which he does.
You just get the feeling that Sean Long is enjoying this now. Was a bit nervous to start with.
Oh, not standing square, I think, the whole defenders. Oh no, it's interference at the play of the ball.
Well, we saw last night, didn't we, at Huddersfield, where the Giants continually gave away silly penalties and nearly allowed Bradford back in the game, and Hull can't afford to do that.
Look what that does to territory-wise. Great kick from Sean Long, sloppy penalty from Danny Tickle, and now St Helens are on the attack.
With Graham. Graham's brought to ground. He's just on for Tony Pulatua, as you see. That was Scott Moore. This is Eastman. Here is Farsivalou.
Well spotted there by Peter Cusack. He knew the inside ball was coming.
Soliola is brought to ground. Leon Price was the dummy half then.
And they've lost it. Fitzgibbon's come up with possession. And what about this for a strike? They've turned it over.
Well, again,
and that's the zero tackle for Hull.
Is it Luaki?
You tell me.
Well,
Luaki, yes.
I tell you what, the error account is really hurting this St. Helens side. They're getting so close.
Again, really impressive on turnover ball. They're lucky now. There's a clearer mindset. We've got to be a better attacking team. We've got the ball, the opposition's defence isn't set. How can we strike? They've made some yards, then they've shifted it to look for a hole.
This is Danny Tickle once again.
I think you're right, Eddie. I think I can make Bill Arthur out on that far side, so it is lifting.
It's up and down, it really is. 1 minute it's okay, the next minute it's difficult,
It was
to say the least.
Poor pass from Sean Long, but they got away with it. It went behind the player. He had a chance to get back quickly. Willie Manu, it was.
Luaki almost had the jersey ripped off him then. Chances here for the black and white.
That's Craig Hall, isn't it? Inside ball from Sean Long. We're looking dangerous at pressing here. Last tackle play.
Yes, and it's the St. Helens goal line that they stood on. Here is Long. Good defence.
It had to be as well. We said that he was enjoying the game, and he certainly has been the distributor. We anticipated that, but he's come up with some neat little short balls, especially back on the inside. And when the likes of Sean Long starts to enjoy the game, that means his confidence is building every single minute.
And that's what you get from somebody like Sean Long. You're exactly right, Steve. He'll be calling inside and outside options off him all the time. And it makes it so much easier for the players playing around him. They know where to go. Just give Longy the ball, hit holes outside him, and you should come up with the goods.
Farsivalou takes tackle number 3 for St. Helens. Cunningham's back out there. And this now is Paul Clough.
Well, Mick Potter's thrown into the fray. The old stager, Kieran Cunningham. He's had the habit over the years, hasn't he, of changing things around.
Good chase from St. Helens. Wheeler was there, so too Flannery.
Fascinating, our game of rugby league in these conditions, and the players are really producing some top quality stuff.
It changes by the second, the conditions. It's a bit better now. About half a minute ago it was like pea soup. Great run here, tremendous run from Berrigan. Just couldn't get the pass away. Look for somebody coming in support. They were all outside of him. Long is the dummy half. Here is Fitzgibbon. Back it comes on the inside to Tickle. Berrigan again, 6 metres away. Long with the kick, it ricochets off, comes back, and it goes back again off Tansey.
Oh, it's back to 6.
Yes, he wipes the tackle count down, does the referee, Ben Taylor. Long.
He'll settle things down with Long, don't worry about that. He knows the value of possession. Good thinking, run from dummy half, just calm things.
Berrigan finds Fitzgibbon. Straightens it up.
Well, they've been utilising the inside pass. Will they do it yet again? Where's Tansey?
Berrigan. That was Richard Horn who got the ball away. Strong run again. Try, I think, from Luaki. Try is given to Luaki.
Well, he brushed off Leon Price as though it was a mosquito in South Africa. Bang! Get out of the way. I know it's not conditions for mosquitoes, but he just brushed him away. Leon Price went far too high on the big fella, and he had the wherewithal to reach out. An amazing stretch. He's a big unit, and Leon Price found out the hard way. Watch this. Get out of the way, Leon. Oh, this is tremendous. Superb stuff. Bang! You've got to go for the legs when there's a big fella like that. Like a runaway truck. Top gear too. Price went into reverse and he took the paw. Oh boy, they're happy. And what a start. We expected something different. We expected something good. from the black and whites, and they are absolutely stunned at the Saints players.
Well, Richard Agar has reshaped his team this year, plus his backroom staff. Dennis Moore at 55 is his assistant coach. He's from Manly. And, well, so far, the reshaped side in the murk and the mist and the fog at St Helens is reaping rich rewards.
What about the footwork from Luaki there? Not a bit of everything. That's very, very difficult to try and defend somebody that big and that quick and that strong out so wide.
Is that dancing on ice?
Dancing in smog. Danny Tickle to try and add the extras to give Hull a 12-0 lead. And 12-0 it is. Manu's try, Luaki's try, Tickle's 2 goals, Saints 0, Hull 12.
There's Price, watch him go backwards and watch the other bloke go forwards. Oh, they tried to battle him, couldn't stop him.
12-0 as we approach half-time. More injury news from Bill.
Another problem for St Helens. A.D. Gardner already off the field with a rib problem. Now Sia Soliola on debut. The Kiwi Test centre has come off. Looks like an ankle problem. That could be him out of the game as well. So this is not looking like a good night for Saints.
No, it isn't. At the moment, a minute away from half-time. Fitzgibbon for Hull. Couldn't get it away to Danny Tickle. Here now is Kirk Yeeman. Berrigan is the dummy half. Long once again. Kicks for territory in that corner.
It's ball back. The ball went out on the full.
Went out on the full, did it? You got good eyes, Phil.
I'm just reading a bit of body language with players running back to the halfway line.
I must say, it is very, very difficult. It reminds me of a game that was played at Ottsel many, many years ago, and it was when the Australian touring side was there. It was so foggy, Eddie, that the winger on the far side didn't realise the half-time whistle had blown, and the entire Australian side went in for 10 minutes into the dressing room, and when they came back out, the winger says, "Where you all been?" And he said, "We've been in a half-time break." He never heard it. He was out there for the full 10 minutes.
Well, I don't think that will happen tonight. Nice kick from Eastman, though, looking for Roby. Finds Roby! Roby gets the ball away! And they drop the ball, drop the opportunity. Wonderful defence on Scott Moore from Kirk Yeeman.
Oh, this was superb from Roby. And look at that. The support play was there, and Yeeman knocks it out. And that's half-time. Great work from Yeeman.
Well, a tremendous first half from the Black and Whites of Hull as Saints leave the field.